The worst day of my life started off very well. I got up at 5:30 and exercised. After getting up, I ran 3 miles. It was very foggy and I was the only one on the track. After 3 miles, I cooled off by running in a straight line and going around corners 2 more times. I went home and took a shower. By the time I got dressed for work, Sarah had put my muffin and a glass of chocolate milk on the counter. I kissed her and snuggled up to her, sipping my milk. She complained that she had crumpled it and ruined her lipstick, but she snuggled up to me anyway. She still made my heart race every time I saw her. At 31, she was more beautiful than ever. She'd gotten a healthy amount of fat compared to the skinny girl I'd brought to prom when we were seniors in high school. She still had a little over 5 feet in her, but she proved that dynamite comes in small packages too. She was a rising star in her law firm and was successful. After our girls were born, she was noticed by several large corporations and talked about a partnership. She was making almost as much as I was, and things were going very well for me. I had just been promoted for the 5th time and was heading up the architectural department at a large company of engineers and architects. I kissed her again and grabbing my briefcase and muffin, headed for the exit. "Have a good day, beautiful." I waved goodbye to her. She kissed me as she gathered the girls for school. She left for work an hour after me and I had to go to bed. My second baby girl was lying in the garage. I had only owned it for 6 months. It was an orange Charger Hellcat. I'd been driving Chargers since I was 16. My dad helped me buy a 1968 RT that still sits under the carport. Every once in a while, I would pull it out and get behind the wheel to listen to the sound of the big Hemi through the Flowmaster pipes. It wasn't as fast as the Hellcat. I love hearing Mustang and Camaro owners brag about their little toys. Just 2 days before, one of the engineers was bragging about his new Shelby GT 350. Over 500 horsepower. He was trying to impress Maria from the office next door. I smiled at the thought of the Hellcat putting out over 700. I actually liked all the new pony cars, but they weren't in the same universe as the Hellcat, Charger, or Challenger. Hot rod owners are a class of people I like, but we all have kids of our own and like to pick on the other guys. I had a great day at work. I finished the powertrain our design team was working on at about 1:30 p.m. and took the day off. I washed my baby girl. It was a beautiful day, and I could see myself polishing it as I put it in the garage. Sarah texted me and said she was going to be a little late. She was at a conference and would be home around 5. At 3:30, I was in the kitchen making chocolate chip cookies. I had 2 pans ready and the plate was on the bar. I heard the door open and the voices of 2 little angelic girls came flying into the living room. 2 little blonde pixies put down their backpacks and flew across the kitchen to hug me. Carmen and Cambra, my baby girls, were home. They are identical twins and the cutest little bundles of joy on God's green earth. They have mommy's hair, freckles, and big blue eyes, but they have my complexion. Sarah can tan, but I have a naturally olive skin tone, and they got my shade. It was a contrast to their hair and eyes. As they got older, they turned into heartbreakers. At 8 years old, they were just adorable. They fought like hornets, but only with each other and Sarah. With me, they were like honey and silk and never let anyone speak ill of each other. Sarah had a hard time dealing with the 2 of them. I know they loved their mother very much, but as soon as she corrected one of them, the other would always side with her sister and they could argue as fiercely as their mother. They would interrupt each other, telling each other how their day was going. School had only opened a week ago, and they really liked their new teacher. Miss Brooks was new to the neighborhood, and I had yet to meet her. She definitely made an impression on my girls. I fed them chocolate chip cookies and tall glasses of milk, listening to them with an idiotic grin on my face. Yes, they were my angels and could do no wrong. They would eat 3 cookies each and head upstairs to do their homework. Homework by the time they got home was my rule, and the rest of the time we could do whatever we wanted. I took the last cookie sheet out of the oven and put it on a plate. I heard Kembry calling for me, and I started up the stairs. I felt something strange and realized my phone was vibrating. I pulled it out and got a text message. The number looked familiar, but it wasn't in my contacts. I checked it as I walked up the stairs. "You were peerless today," I read. "Can't wait for tomorrow." While I appreciated the compliment, I had no idea who could have sent me such a text. Since I didn't have any plans for the afternoon other than work, I figured someone had the wrong number. I decided to play a prank on whoever it was. Thanks, babe, I wrote. Remind me again about the time and place. I immediately texted back. Are you using Shell's phone? Be sure to delete it. Can't have Sheldon suspecting something too soon. Sure, at our house. I froze in place halfway to the girl's door. I'm Sheldon. Sheldon Clanton, and my phone number ends in 9. Sarah has the same one, but it ends in 8, and the girl's numbers end in 7 and 6. Someone made a big mistake. I was numb, unable to move. Carmen looked up at me. Daddy, we need help with these math problems. What's wrong, Daddy? Both girls stood up and stared at me. The look on my face must have shocked them. I shook the cobwebs off of me. It's okay, girls, it's just bad news. Nothing for my babies to worry about, I lied. Let's look at math. 5 minutes later, I heard the garage door open. Sarah was home. I heard her pacing around, and a minute later, she peeked inside. What's for dinner? She asked. Hi, sweethearts. They jumped up and rushed to hug her. They came back and sat down, and Sarah came over and hugged me from behind by the neck. She stroked my ear. I'm going to go take a shower, she said. We were done with math, and I asked the little ones if they wanted to go to Incredible Pizza. They happily agreed, and by the time they had changed into shorts and t-shirts, I was waiting for them in the car. Isn't Mom coming? Carmen asked. She's had a rough day, I told them. Let's let her rest. We'll turn off the phones and it'll just be me and my angels tonight, okay? They agreed, and we had a great time. I forgot to turn my phone off and it vibrated a dozen times. I ignored it and immersed myself back into games and mediocre pizza. We got home at 9:30 and Sarah was asleep on the couch with her phone in her hand. I put my finger to my lips and we tiptoed upstairs. They went to bed and I went to get tomorrow's clothes. I went to the spare bedroom and locked the door. I lay awake until midnight and heard a quiet knock on the door. Shell, what are you doing? I heard a stage whisper. Open the door? Where did you go and why the hell is the door locked? Why are you in there? I didn't answer and she knocked several times. She called my name a dozen times before giving up. She clearly didn't want to wake the girls, and I heard her footsteps retreating down the hallway towards our room. Or rather, it was our room, but I didn't know what it was like now. I got up at 5:30 and grabbed my clothes. As I walked to the garage, I heard her alarm go off. I got in the hell car and pulled back. I saw her pull into the garage just as the door came down and drove to the park. I usually ran on the school track, but that day I ran in the park. My phone rang a dozen times, but I didn't pay attention to it. I showered and got dressed for work. At noon, I asked my buddy Marcus to lend me his Ultima. I felt like I was betraying everything I believed in by getting in that thing, but it looked like all the other little cars on the road and I wanted to blend in. Sarah's car was parked outside the office and I stopped across the street and waited. The windows were dark and I knew no one would be able to see me inside. At 2:30, Sarah got out and got into her BMW. I followed her at some distance and we drove into the suburbs. When she turned into one of the suburbs, I realized where we were going. That's where my brother Mark lived. What the hell? This sucks. Now I knew why the number looked familiar. He and I had never gotten along and we hardly ever talked to each other. We only saw each other at family events, and that was too often for my liking. 2 years ago, I saw him put his hand on Sarah's ass and spanked him. We hadn't spoken since, although his wife and Sarah spent a lot of time together. I parked across the street and she pulled into his driveway. When she got out of the car, she looked upset. She went into the house and I got out and followed. I had been there hundreds of times. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Mark's wife, Chloe, was lying by the pool. It got weirder and weirder. She was an amazing woman. She was sophisticated and elegant. She just radiated class. She looked up at me when she heard the back gate close and panic was reflected on her face. Sheldon, she gasped, what are you doing here? I was climbing the steps to the deck when Chloe jumped up and ran toward me. Shell, wait, don't go in there. I have something to tell you. Wait. The screen was closed, but I could hear their conversation. Sarah was very agitated and he was trying to calm her down. I'm telling you something's wrong, she said. He slept in the spare bedroom last night and this morning he left without saying a word to me. It was a mistake, Mark. I need more time to get him used to order. I know he thinks Chloe is beautiful and we're going to have to let her work on him. I love my husband, and I'm not going to risk my marriage and children over this. You can talk him into it, he told her. We've seen the way he looks at Chloe. You don't need to talk me into it. We've talked about it a dozen times and you know you want it. Yes, I like it, but I don't want to lose everything. If he entertains Chloe, he won't say anything and we'll just switch from time to time. Maybe we will, now that you're here. I can see that's what you want. Yeah, but not as much. If Shell ever finds out about this, he'll die. I'm not going to do that, Mark. I looked over and saw them standing in the living room. He pulled her to him and kissed her. She resisted for a minute, but then she let him kiss her. I took some pictures and made a little video. He slid down the zipper of her dress and she reached up to stop him. I'd seen enough. They jumped aside as they heard the door fall and I stepped through it. Sarah screamed. No, oh God, no. Sheldon, it's not what you think. Please, Shell, I'm so sorry. I kept walking towards them and Mark was backing away as fast as he could. I just walked past them to the front door. Sarah ran up to me and hugged me from behind. Please, Shell, let's just go home. Things aren't what they seem. I promise I'll explain everything when we get home. Without another word, I walked out and got into the Ultima. All three of them got out of the car and tried to chase me. I drove it back to the office and gave the keys to Marcus. 30 minutes later, my cell phone rang. I ignored it. About 5 minutes later, my secretary called. Your wife is on line 3, she said. Tell her I'm unavailable, I replied. I spent the rest of the day staring at the computer screen. Your sister-in-law's on the phone, I heard 5 minutes later. I asked her to connect. What do you need, Chloe? Shell, we need to talk about this, she said. Why aren't you at home? You need to talk to Sarah. She'll explain everything. Mark and I will be there too. We'll talk about it like adults. It's your brother and your wife, Shell. You need to calm down. Why is it that when someone bullies you and pisses you off, they always say you need to calm down? That pissed me off even more. I don't have a brother, I told her. If that asshole is in my house when I get back, I'm going to rip his balls off. If I see you there, I'll throw you out the door. Don't ever let me see you or hear your voice again, Chloe. Tell Zazrans that if he sees me, tell him to run. I hung up. 20 minutes later, Dad called. Sheldon, what's going on? He asked. Your brother and Chloe are here. They say you threatened them. Sarah called, and she was crying and throwing tantrums. I couldn't understand her. What have you done? Sarah is having fun with Mark, and she and Chloe were planning to trick me into changing my wife. Dad, I don't have a brother. If I hear you let any of the three of them into your house after today, I won't have a father. If my mom lets them into the house or any of you ever say their names in front of me, I won't have a father or mother. Guess what? You raised an asshole and now you're picking sides. Oh yeah, you won't have grandchildren either. You can't talk to me like... He started, and I hung up. Maria walked in and asked something, but I couldn't hear what she said. Sheldon, I asked you a question, she said in a louder voice. I started. Oh, I'm sorry, Maria, what did you say? Are you okay? She asked. Tears were running down my cheeks and I couldn't stop them. She came over and put her arm around my shoulders. Did someone die? She asked. I'm so sorry, Sheldon. Who was it? I think it was my marriage and my family, I told her. The whole story came out as I buried my face in my hands and burst into tears. 10 years of my life flashed before my eyes. 10 beautiful years with the woman I loved and the woman I thought loved me. Did she sleep with him? She asked me. I think so, I replied. She was going to do it again tonight. She thought I'd figured them out and wanted to call the whole thing off. Why would she do that, Maria? I loved her with every cell in my body. I would have died for her. How could she do this to our girls? What did those 2 little girls do to deserve this? Sheldon, go home and talk to her, she said. Find out the answers to these questions. You'll never rest until you do. Get out of here. I hugged her. Thank you, Maria. You're a good friend. Please don't tell anyone about this. She looked hurt. Jesus, Sheldon, how could you say something like that? You know I won't tell anyone. I apologized and she hugged me again. I know you're upset. Just go home and try to work things out. My phone hadn't gone silent since I got back to the office and rang on the way home until I turned it off. As I pulled into the garage, Sarah came running out of there. She stood next to the door and I sat there for a minute gathering my thoughts. She started banging on the window with her fist. Sheldon, just come out and talk to me, please. I'm begging you. Just let me talk to you. I opened the door and she tried to hug me. I pushed her away. I think she was shocked. I wasn't a violent person and I had never touched her once in our entire life. Don't touch me, Sarah, I told her. You make me feel like I need a shower. She burst into tears. Okay, I won't. Please, Shell. Just come inside and let me talk to you. You have until the girls come home, I told her. When they get home, the conversation will be over and we'll pretend everything is okay. Do you understand? They don't get involved in anything, and if you upset them in any way, it's over. That's not enough time, she cried. Can't we talk again when they go to bed? I don't know, I said. It depends on what you say between now and when I come for them. You've got an hour and a half. Make the most of them. I will, she promised. Please, can we just sit down? I followed her into the living room where she sat down on the couch and patted the chair next to her. I sat down in the chair across from the coffee table. This made her cry again and she covered her face with her hands. I leaned back in the chair and waited. You're wasting your time, I finally told her. She grabbed a towel from the bar and wiped her face, sitting back down. She could barely speak, so heavy were her tears. I'm so sorry, Shell, she said. I made a huge mistake. I never thought you would find out. I love you so much. You love me so much that you're having fun with my brother? I asked. Don't do that, she begged. It sounds so cheap and dirty. It is cheap and dirty, I said. You can't wrap it in the tape. That's exactly what you've been doing. You would have done it today if I hadn't caught you. I never planned it. It just happened. I'm so sorry, she cried even harder. I don't know what I was thinking. I was really stupid before we got married, Shell. You know that. I met Mark before I met you. I slept with him a few times, and after he met Clow, we still went out occasionally, all three of us. I know you think she's beautiful, Shell. I thought the four of us could. All I had to do was entertain him, I finished for her. No, I just wanted us all to love each other. We could all be together. I was going to include you, I swear, Shell. You had an entertainment session planned for tonight. No, I told him I wasn't going to do that. She sobbed. Yeah, because you thought I knew. What if I didn't know? I wasn't going to. Never mind, you knew. How did you know? What difference does it make? I exclaimed. You were going to entertain that creepy bastard. Do you know what that does to you, Sarah? Please, Shell, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't think it would turn out like this. It doesn't have to be this awful. It can be fun. I'll still be with you. You can sleep with Clow. I felt the bile rising in my throat and ran to the bathroom to throw up. I spit up for a minute, and she tried to give me a washcloth and stroke me. I pushed her away and rinsed my mouth out. We went back and sat down. Did you hear what you just said? I asked. This could be fun. The next thing you're going to say is, it was just sex. Jesus, Sarah, do you realize what a goddamn cliche you've turned into? It makes me want to beat the shit out of you. Yeah, do whatever you want, Shell. I won't say a word. I've earned it. Please, just forgive me. I didn't think you'd find out. I never thought about how much it would hurt you until I thought you knew. When you left last night with the girls, I knew something was wrong. And when you didn't want to sleep in our bed, I knew you were in a lot of pain. I knew you found out. I wanted to tell you and apologize, but you wouldn't let me in. I got up early to tell you and beg you to forgive me, but you left before I could. I should have waited until... Please, Shell, I'm begging you. Do you still love me? Damn you, Sarah, how can you ask me that after what you did? I loved you yesterday morning, and last week, and for the last 10 years. But that didn't stop you, did it? How the hell do you expect me to trust you after that? How do you expect me to believe anything you say? I don't know, she sobbed. I'll earn back your trust. I'll prove that you can trust me. I'll do anything. Just tell me what you want me to do. Do you want to entertain Chloe or someone else? I'm not going to say anything. Please, just let me get my chance back. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It was a mistake. Haven't you ever made a mistake? Yes, I've made a lot of mistakes. I make mistakes every day, I said. Last week I forgot to pay my cable bill. I spilled paint on the garage floor. I didn't forget I was married, and neither did you. It wasn't a mistake. It was a betrayal. A mistake would be if you took him from me. I don't know how to deal with this, Sarah. Tell me how to deal with it. I don't know, she cried, but I'll do anything. We can get help. I'll go to a counselor. I'll wear a bracelet. I'll quit my job. I'm desperate, Shell. I never meant to hurt you. I don't want to lose the girls over this. Please, give me a chance to make things right. Oh God, the girls, I said. I have to go and get them. Get yourself cleaned up, Sarah. If you're not under control by the time I get back, I swear to God, I will kick you out of this house. Not a hint. Do you understand? Yes, I'll take a bath. I'll behave, I promise. Can we talk again when they go to bed? You can't promise me anything, Sarah. Don't make me any promises, I shouted. You've thrown away the only promise that matters. To give up everything else. Do you remember that promise? She just collapsed. Yes, I'm sorry, but I forgot. Shell, can we talk later? Yes, we can. I'm just leaving now. Get cleaned up, Sarah. I was 10 minutes late picking up the girls. When I pulled up to the school, I saw them sitting on a bench in front of the school. A woman was sitting between them with her arm around their shoulders. She was a young woman of indeterminate ethnicity, possibly Hispanic and black. She looked to be in her early 20s. As I got closer, I was struck by everything. This woman was simply gorgeous. She looked tall and slender, and she had the biggest and warmest brown eyes I had ever seen. There were golden sparkles in those eyes, and the mop of glossy curls on top of her head framed one of the most beautiful faces I'd ever seen. Her skin was light coffee-colored and flawless. She smiled as I approached, and her face lit up like a beacon. Her teeth sparkled, and she nudged the girls. They looked up and saw me approaching. They jumped up and flew across the grass, and an avalanche of little girls descended on me. You're late, Daddy, Kembra said. I'm sorry, baby, I told her. I lost track of time. It won't happen again. It's okay, Carmen said. Miss Brooks stayed with us. She rose to her feet from the bench, and I watched mesmerized as she walked over and held out her hand to me. Mr. Clanton, I'm Carly Brooks, she said. I adore your girls. I'm so lucky to have them living in my room. Sheldon. I took her hand. She had long, thin fingers, and they were cool and soft in my hand. I realized I'd been holding on too long, and I shamefully dropped her hand. Thank you so much for waiting with them. I'm so sorry, Miss Brooks. I could barely speak. This woman was a walking wet dream. Carly, she corrected me. Sheldon, can I talk to you for a minute? Girls, can you wait in the car for a minute? I asked. Just a minute. They hugged the teacher and holding hands walked to the car. She smiled after them. I hope you're very proud of them, she said. They're the nicest kids in this school. That's why I wanted to talk to you. They were upset this morning. They told me that their mom was crying this morning and that she cried all the way to school until she dropped them off. Is everything okay at home? Did something die in the family or something? I swore to myself. No, Carly, not everything is fine. Everything will be. And I'll make sure it never happens again. Their mother and I have a lot of problems right now. I'll try to keep them out of it. I'm sorry. Can you talk to me about it? She asked. I'm a good listener and I'll do anything for those little girls. Thank you, but I can't talk right now, I told her. It hurts too much, and I don't know where this is going yet, but I appreciate it. Maybe when things are smoother, I'll tell you, but right now it hurts too much. She reached out and her fingers gently stroked my jaw. I realized she was very tall. Her eyes were almost level with mine, and my height was 6'3". She smiled. Her hand dropped and she walked back into the building. I stared after her for another minute. She was poetry in motion. She looked over her shoulder and smiled when she saw me watching her. My face flushed, and I walked to my car. For hours more, I felt the touch of her fingers on my cheek. The Munchkins chatted merrily until we were almost home. Daddy, Mom was crying this morning, Carmen said. Were you mean to her? I laughed. Maybe a little, I said. I won't do it again, okay? Okay, she said. I don't like it when she's sad. Bree doesn't like it either. I know. I'm sorry about that. It's just that people fight sometimes, you know? I know, Dad, Kembra said. Carmen resents me all the time, but I don't give her a reason to cry. Hey, you're the one with the big grudge, Carmen objected. I had to laugh. None of you are mean. It's just that people fight sometimes. I'll try to be kinder. You're always nice to us, she said. When we got home, Sarah was still in the bathroom, but when she came out of there, she was quite normal. Her eyes were a little puffy, but she smiled and hugged the girls. We had a nice dinner, and they sat on the floor at our feet and we watched TV. It was a pleasant pastime, but I was dreading bedtime. I read to them and kissed them good night. I saw Sarah watching them from the doorway with a sad smile on her face. When I turned out the light, she was gone, waiting for me at the foot of the stairs. "Do you want to talk in bed?" she asked. She asked. She asked. "I'm not sleeping with you," I said. "They'll find out if you don't," she said. "Don't do that, Shell. Make me feel as good as I can. I need you to hold me. I need you not to be—" I caught myself thinking. Tears were running down her cheeks. We undressed in silence, and I lay on my back, staring up at the ceiling. I could feel the bed shaking and knew she was still crying. "Shell, do you want to make love?" she asked quietly. "I'll let you. I know it's what you've always wanted," her voice cracked. "Jesus Christ," I exploded. "I'm going to the spare bedroom." She grabbed my hand. "Please, Shell, forgive me. Don't go away. Please just talk to me. I won't hurt you, I swear. I don't want to lose you. I don't know what to do or say. I'm just floundering. Please just punish me and then forgive me. I'll never— No, I won't make any promises. Shell, do I have a chance to redeem myself? Do I have a chance at all?" "I honestly don't know how, Sarah," I said. "I despise you so much it's killing me. I've loved you since we were in high school. I wish it wasn't like this. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in so much pain. What can we do? How can we go back to the way things were? How do I know you won't just entertain a gas station attendant to pay the bill?" "Damn you, Shell, that's not fair. I'm not a whore and you know it. You're the only man I've ever loved in my life." "Don't you dare tell me what's fair," I growled. "Is it fair that you've been having fun with that asshole for God knows how long? Is it fair that a man who's loved you since high school has to live with the fact that his wife is a slut who tried to sway him to do the same? Is it fair that our girl's mom is a cheating bitch? Is it fair that you're a liar and a cheat? Screw you, Sarah. Don't tell me who you are. I know who you are. Screw this, it's not gonna work. I don't want to hear your bullshit. You don't even want to take responsibility for your actions. I want you out of here. In the morning, you'll tell the girls you're staying at your sister's for a few days. I don't care what excuse you give them. Make something up, you're a good liar. Just leave when I get home tomorrow." She started crying hysterically. "I'm sorry I said that, Sheldon. Please don't make me leave." "No, you made your own choice to be an abomination with asshole without thinking of me or the girls. I'm making this one, and I'm not thinking about you. This is my house. I inherited it from my grandparents, and I don't want you living here." "When can I come back?" she sobbed. "I don't know. Maybe never. Don't make me angry, Sarah. Maybe I'll feel better after a while. Maybe you'll figure out how to fix things, and maybe I'll figure something out. I can't breathe when you're here. Every time I look at you, I see that bastard unbuttoning your dress. I'm going to go to the couch." I left her crying on the bed, took my pillow and went to the couch. The next morning I left again at 5:30 and she still wouldn't get up. When I picked up the Munchkins after school, they told me that she had gone to Aunt Sophie's house to help her while she was sick. They were a little upset because they were supposed to run a 5-kilometer race with her on Saturday. I told them I would exercise with them instead, and they got excited. Sarah called them, and they had a long talk about the 8K. She texted me, and all she said was, "I'm sorry." On Friday, I took the day off work and I got a call from Sophie. She wanted to come and talk to me, and I agreed. She's Sarah's younger sister, and I've always had a soft spot for her. When I opened the door, she was angry. She came in and poured herself a cup of coffee. She was about 14 when Sarah and I got together, and she was just an angel. After Sarah and I got married, she spent more time at our house than at her parents' house, and we were still very close. "What is wrong with you, Sheldon?" she spat out. "Sarah is dying in my house and you just sit here and let her. She won't stop crying the whole time she's in there. Come and pick her up and bring her home." "Did she tell you why she's there?" "She made a mistake and slept with them, Sheldon. You forgave her last time. What's the big deal?" I couldn't believe my ears. "What the hell are you talking about last time?" I said. I felt very calm. Her eyes got big and she covered her mouth with her hand. "Oh my God," she gasped. "She never told you, did she?" "Sophie, tell me what the hell you're talking about," I said. "No," she said. "I'll let her tell you. She promised me she'd tell me, and she said she did, and you forgave her. That's all I want to say. I'm sorry, Shell, I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I came in here in a semi-conscious state, and I apologize. I'm going to talk to her." She kissed my cheek, and not 10 minutes later the doorbell rang. It was John and Alicia, Sarah's parents. It wasn't pleasant. I invited them in and we sat down at the bar to drink coffee. "We're very disappointed in you, Sheldon," Alicia began. "Are you disappointed in me or Sarah?" I asked. "You kicked her out of the house," John said. "Why would we be disappointed in her?" "Did she tell you why?" I asked. "We haven't seen her," said Alicia. "Why don't you tell us why?" "Look, I love you both, but I'm not telling you anything," I said. "If you want to know, ask her. In the meantime, before you get disappointed in someone, check the facts. Now, you're welcome here anytime. You can see the girls whenever you want, but don't come back here to have this conversation with me again. Find out what's going on and then we'll talk once. After that, it'll be over. It's really none of your business. Now, I've got some things to do, so I gotta go. Finish your coffee, wait for the girls to get home, whatever, but I gotta go." I left them there with their mouths open. As I got into the Hellcat, my thoughts went into overdrive. The conversation with Sophie had thrown me off balance. And then John and Alicia arrived. Apparently there had been another incident and Sophie knew about it. Sarah had promised to tell her about it, but she didn't. That made the situation even worse. What am I supposed to do now? Driving my baby girl always brought me at least temporary relief, and I pulled onto the freeway heading north. There wasn't much traffic, and I had the Hemi's engine slightly ajar. I looked down and saw that I was traveling at a speed of 85. It felt good. I looked in the rearview mirror. There was a new yellow Mustang GT driving behind me. It was too close for the speed we were traveling at, and it pissed me off. I pressed down on the gas pedal, and that big Hemi howled. The supercharger roared, and I took off like I was being launched. This engine burns 1.5 gallons of gasoline per minute at full throttle, and 650 lb-hoft of torque spins the wheels like a freight train. The Mustang immediately began to fall behind. It held on until we passed 1/20th, but by the time I got to 1/50th, it was just a yellow dot. I stopped at the next exit. I needed gas, and there was a convenience store there. I pulled up to the pump and held out my credit card. I heard the hum of a motor on the other side of the pumps, but I didn't pay much attention to it. "Sheldon, is that you?" I heard a woman's voice say. I looked around. There was a yellow Mustang. Carly Brooks was getting out of it. She was walking down the pumps toward me. She was wearing a button-down shirt and jeans. I noticed she was wearing white flip-flops and her toenails were painted the same yellow color as the car. She looked absolutely stunning. "Miss Brooks, why aren't you teaching my daughters how to conjugate verbs?" I laughed. She stepped closer and leaned against a pillar. "I took a personal day," she said. "I thought it was your car that whizzed past me. I tried to catch up to you and wave." "God, you're so hot." "I didn't know you liked cars," I said. "You have a beautiful pony. Do you have him fully kitted out?" "No, I put a lot of labor into him. I can't believe you just walked away and left me like that." "It's the coolest muscle car ever made," I told her. "I like the Mustang, though." "What are you doing here?" "I live here," she said. "And you?" "Just trying to blow off steam," I told her. "That rough patch I was telling you about turned into a mountain, and I just need to dispel the brain fog a little." "Well, if we drove as fast as we did, we'd both be put in jail," she laughed. "How about I buy you a cup of coffee and you let some of the fog out in my direction?" "Miss Brooks, I don't think you want to hear about my problems," I told her. "I told you to call me Carly," she said. "Come on, there's a Starbucks right down the street. I'll tell you a story and you tell me a story, okay?" I agreed and pumped her gas. I followed her and we went inside. I ordered my usual triple espresso and she ordered something like a latte with lots of foam. She took a sip and looked at me. I couldn't keep from laughing. "I have a mustache, don't I?" She smirked. "Yes." I cleaned them off with a napkin. Her huge brown eyes looked at me with an unusual expression. "What's going on with you?" she asked. "Why were you driving so fast?" "Driving fast for me is like a shot of whiskey for other people," I said. "When I'm upset, I drive or run. It calms me down and helps me think." "Why do you need a shot glass?" she asked. "I'm not trying to pry, it's just that you look like you need someone to talk to." "Carly, are you married?" "No, but I was engaged once." "Can you tell me why you aren't engaged anymore?" I asked. "Yes, but I think if you're not engaged to me, it's only fair," she replied. She was sipping her latte, and I could tell she was gathering her thoughts. "I can't do that," she finally said. "I'm sorry, Sheldon. I have to go." She stood up and I could see tears streaming down her high cheekbones. I stood up and walked over to her. I pushed her back into the booth and sat down next to her. She protested, but I ignored her. I took one of her long, thin hands in mine. "I'm sorry, Carly," I told her. "I didn't mean to upset you. You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to. I didn't make any deal, I was just trying to find a place to start." "It's okay," she said. "If you don't let me out, I'll crawl under the table. I'm sorry, Sheldon, but I can't do that right now. It's too painful for me." I let her out. She stood up and hugged me. "I just have to go," she said. "I'm sorry I couldn't help you." "It's okay," I told her. "Will you let me buy you another cup of coffee sometime? I promise I won't make you cry. Usually, girls have to get to know me a little before I make them cry." She let out a wet chuckle. "That wasn't you." "Yeah, call me sometime. I love your girls, Sheldon. I know you're a good father." She slid out of the car, and the little yellow Mustang shrieked its tires as she pulled away. It was time to pick up the girls, so I went to pick them up. They did their homework, and we went to Red Lobster's. They had endless shrimp, and we all love shrimp. By the time we were done, our table resembled a shrimp graveyard. The next day was a 5-kilometer race, and I had planned to run. The race was postponed because Sarah wasn't there, so I agreed to run. We were seated at a table near the 3-kilometer mark, and there was water and Gatorade on a small table. When runners came up to it, they could grab a bottle and take it with them. There was supposed to be another worker there, but he hadn't shown up yet. I heard a car drive by in the distance, but the road was blocked by trees. I was shocked when a small yellow pony pulled up and Carly got out of it. She looked amazing. The girls squealed when they saw her and ran up to hug her. They took her hands and led her to her room. I could see she was uncomfortable. "Hi, Carly," I greeted her. "How did we get so lucky?" She smiled and relaxed. "Virtue reward," she smiled. We chatted merrily for a while, and then I heard the sound of a car pulling up. It was a huge Ford pickup truck. The door must have towered 5 feet above the ground. I recognized it. It belonged to the baseball coach. He was an aging high school sports hero. Everyone knew him. His glory days as a sports star 15 years ago had created in his mind an image of God's gift to the earth and, in particular, to women. He had a shaved head and was about 6 feet tall. He played sports, that much was obvious, and walked with his arms almost parallel to the ground so everyone could see how strong he was. His name was Hawk or Falcon, or one of those birds of prey. He walked over to the table. "Carly, how are you doing here, dear?" "Mr. Harrier," she answered. "I'm not going to ask you not to address me by my first name anymore. We're not friends, and if you call me honey one more time, I'll file a complaint that you're creating a hostile work environment." His jaw dropped. "What are you, a lesbian?" He was outraged. Of course, that might have been the only possible explanation for any woman not falling to her knees in front of him. "Your wife certainly didn't complain when I was at her house," Carly said. The girls gasped, and he jerked his hand away. I stood up and he looked at me. He may have outnumbered me by 20 pounds in 10 years, but he was a bully, and bullies don't want to discover any surprises. He didn't know me, so he backed away and got in his truck. "Girls, I'm sorry I talked like that," she said. "That man has been hitting on me since I got here, and I'm sick of it. That's no excuse. I'm sorry." Bree put his arm around her shoulders. "It's all right, Miss Brooks. We don't like him anyway. He goes after all the girls on his cross-country team. He's just creepy." Carly looked at me, and we both burst into laughter. "Remind me not to make you mad," I told her. "You have a mean streak in you, Carly." The first contestants started showing up, and for a while we were busy as bees. I asked the girls if they wanted to take Carly for wings later, and they were very excited about it. She agreed to come with us, and we headed home to get cleaned up. I know a place that serves some of the best wings on the planet. It was called Hackett's, and it was run by an old friend of mine. He was an older black man from Memphis, and he knew how to make wings. We were having a blast, and I didn't want it to end. Carly and the girls kept my mind off Sarah, and it felt good to be human for a little while. But it couldn't go on much longer, and when I got home, my phone had a dozen missed calls from her. It had been off all day, but as soon as I turned it back on, it lit up like a Christmas tree. I put the girls to bed and called her. "Shell, I need to talk to you," she said. "Can I come over?" "Don't you have a date?" I asked. "Asshole too busy?" She sobbed. Please, just let me come over, Sheldon. I can explain everything. Okay, come over, I said. I finished talking and 30 minutes later I heard her open the door. I thought about changing the locks. When she walked in, she looked miserable. She tried to hug me, but I reached out and pushed her away. Sarah, I swear to God, if you touch me, I'll throw up on you, I told her. She immediately cried and came over and sat down. Can I just talk to you? She cried. Let me speak my thoughts. I sat down across from her again at the table. She stared at the floor. I know what Sophie said. His voice was so quiet I barely heard her. So you decided to come clean? I asked. Yes, I didn't want to tell you before. Thought you'd hate me. She caught me, Shell. She threatened to tell you if I didn't. I told her I would, but I couldn't. You were so happy, and I couldn't think about how you'd feel. It was just, no, I'm not going to say it. I was drunk. One night we were at a Christmas party at school. All the kids had gone home, and you went with them. We started drinking. You know how it is in Catholic schools. Even Father Peter was drunk. Mark and Chloe were there. I just started talking to him. He was always saying how much he loved me. Do you know how long it's been since anyone but you said that to me? I feel like I'm getting old, Shell. I don't think I'm as pretty as I used to be. Do you know how many men have hit on me over the years? I like it when men think I'm beautiful. I've danced with them. They'll never get to me, but it made me feel good to know they wanted to. Barbara Jansen was there. Do you remember her? She was a freshman when we were seniors. She was a pretty little blonde who always thought she was something special. She married one of the teachers at an all-girls school. She said something to me about me looking old. I was drunk and it really pissed me off. Then Mark came over and asked if I wanted to dance. He was as charming and handsome as ever and kept telling me how beautiful I was. He kept telling me how good I was in school. I was drunk as hell and let him talk me into going out on the porch in the back of the house. It was so stupid, but I just felt really vulnerable. I made him feel good about himself. I felt so sorry for myself. I felt disgusted with myself after I did it. I just couldn't believe that I was a person who could do something like that. I felt so sorry for myself. Sophie came out on the porch with her bow and caught me. She threatened to tell you. She called me all kinds of names and said I was crazy for flirting with you. She said if I told you, she wouldn't mention it. I couldn't tell you. I was so ashamed, and I was so afraid you'd leave me. I told her I told you, and you forgave me. I wish I had told you. That's when it all started. I screwed it up, Shell. I'm a stupid bitch and I ruined everything. I'm so sorry, I hate myself. And if I made you hate me, I don't know how I can go on. I've never loved anyone but you, and I never will. Please, Shell, don't hate me. Please forgive me. I swear to God, if you let me make it up to you, I'll work like a slave. I'll do anything you say. Please don't leave me. Please don't take my girls away from me. What can I do? I'll do anything. I know now that you will never accept that. Sarah, I don't know what you can do, I said. I haven't had time to decide what I should do. How can I trust you? You've lied to me several times. You told me you were staying late at work when in fact you were cheating on me. What if I forgive you and one day you have to work late? What would I have to think about? How will I be able to not think about you having fun with some guy? How is that possible? She cried uncontrollably. I don't know, Shell. All I know is that I love you and the girls, and I see what I've done. I see how my stupidity has hurt us and our family. I love you more than anyone. What do you want to do? Do you still love me? That's the problem, Sarah. I still love you. I'm just not sure you ever loved me. I'm not sure I believe you about everything. No, I'm sure I don't. I have to assume that everything you tell me is a lie. Are you being honest with me? I'll never know, and I'm not likely to believe anything you tell me. Here's your chance. If you're hiding something, tell me now. It won't change anything. I can't be more angry with you than I am right now. This is your only chance. I swear to God I'm honest, she said. There's nothing else. I love you, Sheldon. I don't love anyone else and I never have. I did it. It was just... Don't say that, Sarah, I interrupted her. You were going to cheat and you cheated. It wasn't... No, okay, I know you don't want to hear that. I just want you to realize that it meant nothing to me. I don't love Mark or Chloe. I thought you'd want to join us. I see now that you'll never want to, and that was a mistake. Well, it sure meant something to me, I told her. The problem is that it meant nothing to you. If I was having fun with some stranger, would it mean something to you? It's not the same thing, she said. It's exactly the same thing, I told her. Screw it. If you keep trying to dodge responsibility and downplay what you did, it's not going to work. I'm going to see a lawyer tomorrow, Sarah. I suggest you do the same. Why? She asked. Why do I need a lawyer? When I file for divorce, you'll need one too, I told her. She let out a little squeal and fell over. I said nothing, and she sobbed for about 5 minutes before she could speak. I don't want a divorce, she sobbed. Please, Shell. Why do you want a divorce? I told you I'd do anything. You don't even want to step forward and admit how badly you screwed up, I told her. You're trying to make excuses and minimize your cheating like there was nothing to it. No, it didn't, she protested. I can see how much it hurt you, and I'm sorry. I'm just trying to let you know that I love only you. They don't mean anything to me. You're my man. So you were willing to sleep with me for people who mean nothing to you? Is that what you're telling me? Is that supposed to make me feel better about myself? I don't know what I'm saying, she sobbed. I'll say whatever you want me to say. I'm just trying to say something to get another chance, to get you to forgive me. Tell me what you want me to say. How about, I'm sorry, Sheldon, I screwed up and it won't happen again? Yeah, I'm sorry, I screwed up and I won't do it again. Can I go home now, Shell? I'm dying without you. It kills me that I can't be around the girls. I'll do anything. I'll sleep in the spare bedroom. I'll be your slave. I'll cook. I'll clean. And you can use me any way you want. You can have girlfriends or anything else you need to get over it. Actually, I can, I told her. You know, I met someone I'm really interested in? I was afraid of that, she said. Go on a date with her. Bring her here and I'll cook for you. I'm as serious as I can be, Shell. I'll do anything to be a part of your life. I just want to live with you and the girls. Just give me a chance to get you back. I'll never have another man as long as I live. If you need to get revenge or punish me, I know I deserve it. I'll take the blows and I'll never complain. Just give me a chance. Let me think about it, I told her. I'll call you tomorrow and let you know my decision. Don't say a word to the girls, okay? No, I won't. I'll do whatever you say. Thanks for talking to me, Sheldon. I know I don't even deserve it. You're a good man and I'm taking advantage of you. I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. I'm dying inside from being separated from my family. Maybe you should have thought about it. No, forget it. I'm not going to hit you, I said. I need you to talk to someone, Sarah. With a pastor, a rabbi, a counselor, or someone else. I don't think you have the right moral compass. Will you do it? Yes, I'll do anything, she replied. She left and I lay awake most of the night thinking. I didn't want her to come back. The thought that she couldn't be serious about what she had done, that it meant nothing to her, kept me awake. How could I accept her back if she doesn't even see anything wrong with what she did? The only thing she regretted was hurting me and almost losing her family. It was so messed up that I didn't know where to start. The problem was the girls. How could I ruin my little girls' lives by kicking their mother to the curb? I fell asleep, still not knowing what to do. In the morning, I had clarity. The girls loved their mother, and she was a wonderful mother. They didn't deserve anything like that, and I needed to make their lives as good as possible. I was sure that living with a cheating whore would not be good for them. I called work and got the day off. When the girls got up, I told them I would pick them up from school so we could talk. It was the hardest conversation of my life. I didn't tell them that their mother was a cheating whore. I just told them that we have some issues we need to work out. She doesn't want to live with us and we are trying to work out our problems. They cried as if someone had died. At first they accused me of messing things up, but when I told them I didn't do anything, they realized what was wrong. Did Mom do something bad? Kemba asked. Dad, did she cheat on you? I'm not going to tell you anything bad about your mom, I told them. She loves you very much, and you shouldn't blame her for anything. It has nothing to do with you girls. You are the best girls I could ever imagine, and we both love you with all our hearts. Just give me a chance to work this out, okay? They reluctantly agreed, and we talked for a long time. I called Sarah and we met for lunch. When I told her I needed to be alone, she was puzzled. I get angry every time I look at you, Sarah, I told her. You need to stay away from me. I've decided I can never forget what you did. You may have cost me any relationship with anyone in my family. I'm divorcing you, Sarah. I'll let you see the girls whenever you want. We have a prenup that says if one of us cheats, the innocent party keeps the house. You won't be short of money. I'll take care of that. Now the bitch came on the scene. She called me every name she could. promised to turn the girls against me and take me to court. I wished her well and left. Carly called me after school and was worried about the girls. She noticed they were not at school and was very concerned. I promised her they were fine, and she asked if she could come over on Saturday and talk to me. There was an automobile race on Saturday, and I was going to attend. I suggested she go and she agreed. In the morning, Sarah picked up the girls and I went to pick up Carly. She was as gorgeous as ever. We had 50 miles to go and we talked a lot. Finally, she broke down and told me her story. She was engaged to a businessman from the town where she grew up. They met in high school and fell in love with each other. She was so happy she thought she must have missed some obvious signs because at the wedding she caught the groom in the dressing room with one of her bridesmaids. She left without saying a word to anyone and just drove away. She never spoke to anyone else in her hometown. She ended up in our town and got a job as a teacher at the school the girls went to. She was clearly upset, and the memories were still fresh and painful for her. I understood exactly how she felt. I told her about what had happened to me and Sarah. When I finished talking, her eyes filled with tears and mine were misting up a little too. She leaned over and put her head on my shoulder. Her hair was just a huge mop. All those curls were about a foot long, sticking out in all directions. When we got to the show, the phone rang and it was my mom. "Sheldon, we need to sit down and talk," she said. "I'm calling a family meeting. Gail and Helen are coming in the car, and we'll meet here at the house." "Will asshole be there?" I asked. "Your brother has something to tell you," she said. "I told you what's going to happen," I said. "Don't call me again, ex-mom." "Sheldon, don't be like that," she pleaded. "Okay, he won't be there. Are you coming?" "Wait a minute," I told her. Carly tried to get my attention. "Talk to them, Sheldon," she said. "It's the only way to move on with your life." "Have you talked to your family?" I asked. She grinned bitterly. "No, but I know I should, and so should you." "Okay, Mom, when is this meeting?" I asked. "Dinner tonight at 6, she said. "No dinner," I told her. "I'll be there at 7:30. I ended the conversation. I had a good time with Carly, and she held my hand as we looked at cars. On the way home, we talked for a while, and I asked her if she'd stop by afterwards so I could tell her all about it. She promised, and I dropped her off at her house. I was dreading the hell out of it. Back home to an empty house, I tried to eat a little. It only made my stomach upset, so I took a couple antacids. I got the old charger out and started it up. It was fine, and that humming sound calmed my nerves. I'm sure they heard my arrival from a block away, and Mom got to the door before I did. She put her arms around me and I froze like a pillar. When she looked up at me, there were tears in her eyes. She didn't say anything, just took my hand and led me inside. I heard the lock click behind me, and my father was standing in front of the door with a baseball bat. "We're not going to let you destroy our family because of your stubborn pride," he said. "Go put your ass down." Well, this is going to be interesting. My sisters, Gail and Helen, took me under their arms and I sat down between them. Then, the 3 cheating girls walked out of Mom's bedroom. I looked at my mom. "He's your brother? She's your wife? Chloe is your sister-in-law," she said. "We can get past that." "Okay, ex-mom," I told her. "You just lost your son and your only 2 grandchildren. He's an asshole, not my brother, and she's a whore. I guess that makes you a whore, Mom." "We just love you, Shell," Gail replied. "We'll agree to anything you want." "I want to leave," I said. "Do you want to stay with me tonight? I want you to meet someone." "Girls, I thought you were going to help," Slut Mom started to panic. "Yes, we are going to help Sheldon," Helen said. "What, did you think we were here to help those scumbags?" We stood up together and walked toward the door. The pimp made a movement with the bat and I hit him. He dropped the bat and collapsed to the floor, letting out a hoarse scream. I picked up the bat and turned around. The asshole saw death in my eyes and rushed to run through the kitchen and out the back door. I turned to bitch. Her eyes widened and she darted after her asshole husband. I threw back my head and laughed. "I'm going to sue you for wrongful imprisonment," I told bitch's mom. "Don't call, write, send postcards, or try to contact the girls. I will get a restraining order against all of you." She fell to her knees and burst into hysterical tears. "Please, Sheldon, don't do this. Forgive me. I'll make it up to you." "It's too late," I told her. "You had your chance, you chose a side. Good luck with the rest of your life. Too bad you'll spend it with people who cheat on their spouses." You'll have a restraining order placed on you too, I told Slut. You're mentally unstable, and I'll never leave the girls alone with you again. Helen went upstairs and picked up the twins. They looked at everyone strangely but said nothing. The slut was sobbing hysterically. Without saying a word, the girls and I walked out of the house and down the driveway. Do you want to drive? I asked Gail. I tossed her the keys. She squeaked excitedly. Really, Shell? I've always wanted to, but you never let me. You made the right choice, I told them. I love my little sisters. I let them drive my cars. We bought Chinese food on the way home, and Helen tried to wring our necks. On the way out, I called Carly and we bought food for her too. The twins ran across the room when she came in and rushed over to her. They took her by the hand and led her over to their aunts. This is our teacher, Miss Brooks, Kembry introduced her. I think she's Daddy's girlfriend too. Carly blushed furiously and looked simply adorable. Kembry, we're just friends. You shouldn't say things like that. Well, since Mommy cheated, we want you to be with Daddy, Carmen told her. Girls, that's enough, I scolded them. You're embarrassing our guest. Let's go to bed with you. Sorry, Daddy, came a quiet one. Aunt Helen, Aunt Gail, read us a book. They escorted their aunts upstairs and left Carly and I in awkward silence. I walked over to her and she looked a little frightened. I took her hands in mine and pulled her to me for a hug. Her curls tickled my chin and she pressed herself against me. How about it, Carly? I muttered. You want to be my girlfriend? She tilted her head to look into my eyes. The huge brown eyes were full of a golden glint. Maybe, she whispered. I won't be with you until you're with her, she told me. I understand, I told her. I'm not her, Carly, and I'm not going to become her. It's going to take time to figure all of this out. I have the rest of my life, she said. The next morning I went to see a lawyer. Her name was Marcy Gray, and she was very rude. I think at first she thought I'd left my wife for a status upgrade. She was in her 40s. I wanted her to like me, but we started off on the wrong foot. If you came here to avoid paying child support, you need another lawyer, were the first words out of her mouth. That pissed me off. Okay, that's not why I'm here, but thank you for having me. I stood up and walked out. I stopped at the receptionist's desk and asked how much the appointment cost. She opened her mouth, but Miss Gray interrupted her. What the hell is going on with you? She shouted. You can't just leave like that. Take care of me, I told her. I don't know who you think you are, lady, but you can bite me. I don't have to listen to insults, especially from the people I hire. Back off. She pouted like a toad frog. She opened her mouth, then started laughing. She laughed until she was in tears, then she came over and took my hand. I'm sorry, she wiped her tears from laughing. Sometimes I forget that there are decent men in the world. I see so many assholes every day that I forget. No one has spoken to me like that in years. Please accept my apologies. Come back and talk to me. Tell me what's going on. Despite my misgivings, I let her walk me back to the office and she poured me a very nice whiskey. I told her the whole story and she started being rude again, but mostly towards my ex-family and slut. She called the receptionist and asked her to bring the forms. I paid her a fee and signed 10,000 times. She promised that the restraining order would be obtained the same day and the divorce would begin as soon as possible. She shook my hand and the case moved forward. 3 days later, the pimp was sued and my ex was charged with unlawful restraint and terroristic threats. The pimp was even charged with attempted assault for his actions with a baseball bat. That asshole and his wife were charged with willful infliction of mental anguish, and life went back to normal. The twins were with me, and Hooker was forbidden to come within 500 feet of us. When I went out to get the newspaper Saturday morning, she was standing at the end of the block. When she saw me, she shouted, Sheldon, please let me see my babies, please. I'm so sorry, this wasn't my idea. Please, I'm begging you. Let me see my babies. A few neighbors came outside to see what all the screaming was about. I walked over to her and she fell to her knees in front of me. Please, Sheldon, I'm begging you. I'll crawl home if that's what you want. Please let me see the girls. Get up, Sarah, I told her. You're embarrassing yourself and me. I don't care about myself, she said. I know I've lost you, Shell. I can't lose my children. I won't embarrass you anymore. Please, just for 5 minutes, let me see them. She clung to me and I lifted her to her feet. Okay, you can see them, I told her. Sarah, I told you that you could see them anytime you wanted to. And then you went and did that shit at my ex-parents' house. I swear to God, one more crazy moment like that and you'll be done. Do you understand? Yeah, I understand. And I won't do anything crazy. Thank you, Shell. I'll be good. We got back to the house, and the girls were eating waffles. They ran up to her and she knelt down and hugged them like life preservers in a hurricane. She sobbed sincerely and told them over and over again how sorry she was and how much she loved them. They cried a little too and told her how much they missed her. I made her breakfast and we all sat around the bar and ate. She promised them and me that she would be a mom to them like she used to be, but she wouldn't live with us. I think they understood and agreed to stay with her every weekend. I told her she could come over any time during the week if she wanted. They left to watch TV and we sat and talked some more. Sheldon, she started, I'm really sorry about what happened at your parents' house. I didn't want to do it, but your mom said we could fix it. Now I realize that's impossible. I know I hurt you too much, but I'm in my right mind now, and I just want you to give me as much of a relationship as you want. I want to be a friend. I want more than that, but I realize it's not going to happen. I'll just be the best friend you've ever had. I'll be the girl's mom, and we'll move on with our lives. I signed the divorce papers, and I'm not going to fight it. The financial issues are settled. I'm going to move into one of our apartments. One will be vacated next week, and it's a nice apartment. Can we be friends and co-parent, Sheldon? We'll have to work on being friends, I told her. Most of my friends aren't. No, never mind. I'll try, Sarah. I'll honestly try. I just have a lot of bad feelings about you right now. I'm sure time will heal a lot of it and we'll get along just fine. Just so you know, I'm not going out with you anymore, Sarah. If you really gave it up, I'm sure we'll be fine. The first time you go on a date, you'll come and tell me about it. And then I'll believe you can move on. And then we'll start working on becoming friends, okay? There were tears in her eyes, but she nodded and hugged me. I felt sorry for her, but it was beyond me. I offered to drive her home, but she said she parked on the next street over. At the door, she turned around and looked back. I'm sorry, she said. I know, I told her. I am too. Don't apologize, Sarah. I believe you. Let's just move on. I forgive you. I'm still mad, but I'll get over it. Okay? She smiled, nodded, and left. She came over on Monday and Wednesday, and on Friday I let the girls go out to eat with her. We got into a regular rhythm and things seemed to be going well. The next week I got a call from Marcy Gray saying that my ex-family's attorney had talked to her and wanted to set up a meeting. I declined, but she said it was in everyone's best interest, so I agreed. The only condition was that asshole not be there. Everyone agreed and we sat down around Marcy's conference table. They were all very remorseful and full of regret. They wanted me to drop the charges against them and were willing to do almost anything to make it happen. I told them that if they would sign agreements to never contact me or talk to me again, agree to never talk to or contact girls again, and that if the pimp would let me kick him in the balls again, I would drop all charges except those against Zazrans. Marcy liked that a lot, and they agreed to all the terms except the last one. Chloe and Mom agreed, but for some reason the pimp didn't want to. I guess he needed to have a baseball bat in his hand to feel comfortable having his scrotum kneaded. Mom threatened to kick him herself, and he finally agreed. Macy sighed, and I told him I wasn't going to do it right away, but he should be ready. They signed the papers and walked out. As soon as the door closed, Marcy broke out into a mad giggle. I told her a woman shouldn't giggle like that, and she ran off to the bathroom. When she came back, she was calm until she saw me, and it pissed her off again. Sheldon, you're such an idiot, she gasped. You almost made me shit my pants. You know I can't put it in the papers, right? I chuckled. Well, yeah, but I like the idea of him worrying about whether or not I'm coming after him tonight. You're a hard-ass dude, she finally soothed. Are you going to stick with it? You have no idea what I've put up with because of asshole over the years, I told her. He's stolen my toys, gotten me in more trouble than you can imagine, and it's all been business as usual. Jesus, Marcy, he was entertaining my wife, and that suited them just fine. The problem was my stubborn pride. I'm done with them. I hope they all die in loneliness and misery. I guess I don't blame you, she said. The divorce will be final in 60 days. What will you do then? Move on, I told her. I have a few plans. I even have a few plans for asshole. She looked at me incredulously. You won't need a criminal defense attorney, will you? God, I hope not, I said. Are you any good at anything? I practice family law, she said. I'll bail you out, but I'll have to recommend a colleague if you're charged with a crime. I didn't expect to be charged. This asshole was coming out of a bar one night and three masked men jumped him and dragged him into an alley. They beat him to a pulp, paying particular attention to his genitals. The police report says they asked him a question over and over again and he couldn't understand it. It was, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" They must have mistaken him for Dan Rather. He said he didn't know any Kenneth and had no idea who they were or what their frequency was. I was with Sarah and the girls at the time, and no one questioned me. After he was released from the hospital, he stayed home while Chloe was out of town, and then there was a home invasion. He was beaten up again, this time by four guys. The questions were different. They kept asking why he wasn't wearing socks. He had no idea what socks were supposed to be, so they played ping pong with his balls. I was on a date with Carly. A month later, he was ambushed in the parking lot at work. He couldn't quantify his attackers, but they asked how often he did it and, again, disapproved of his choice of socks. I was at the Twins soccer game with Sarah. I was questioned by the police that time. Attempted murder seems to please jealous husbands, but I had a solid alibi for all the attacks. 2 months later, he started having car trouble. 3 times a week for 2 weeks, the car had a flat tire when he got home from work. Mysterious ice pick-sized holes appeared in the sidewalls. Security guards began monitoring the car, and it regained the ability to keep air in the tires while he worked. But as soon as he went into a store or bar or left it for a minute, the problems resumed. Injector problems put her out of commission for a while due to mothballs in the fuel. The repairman said the cause was probably mothballs in the gas tank. How it got there remains a mystery. A month later, his grill exploded when he tried to fire it up. There was a gas leak, and for a time he lost his eyebrows and eyelashes, as well as the front of his hairbrush. This streak of bad luck continued until the climax came when his car's airbag unexpectedly deployed, causing him to crash into a tree. Of course, by then the airbag had deflated and he was injured and hospitalized. His wife, the lovely Chloe, decided his bad luck was starting to get to her and filed for divorce. He was afraid to cross the threshold of his home and took a job in Cleveland selling tires. My life was going great. The divorce went smoothly and I was a free man. For about a month, Carly and Sarah walked around each other like two cats, but one day Sarah asked her out for drinks and dancing. Sarah had a date, and she asked Carly to tell me about him. He was an accountant, and Carly said his name was Bob. In her opinion, he was a nice guy and quite handsome. The girls got along well with each other, and the tension in the house eased when they were there at the same time. After that date, I started taking Sarah out to lunch about once a week, and we became good friends again. We talked about Munchkins and how the work was going, and I remembered how much I enjoyed talking to her. She seemed to be doing well, and she told me that she really liked Bob. We didn't talk much about the past, and that was good. The Saturday after the divorce was finalized, Sarah took the girls and I went with Carly. We drove up into the mountains and hit a big local festival. We walked around, looked at crafts, ate local food, and rode a few carnival rides. In the evening, I took her out dancing, and around 1 a.m., we were fed up and left. When I dropped her off, she invited me in, and I didn't hesitate. She stopped in the living room, and I jumped into bed with her. She tilted her head and looked at me. "Sheldon, I'm in love with you," she whispered. "And do you love me?" "More than you can imagine," I told her. "I thought I'd never be happy again, Carly." "I was wrong. My girls make me happy, and you make me happy. I really do love you. I think I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I should send Zesrans a thank you card?" She laughed. "Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I'm happy here with you too." We whispered about what nothing meant and what everything meant until we fell asleep with this gorgeous woman in my arms. 2 months later, she moved in with me and the twins rode to school with her every day. 6 months later, I realized I couldn't live without her, so I bought her a ring. I told the girls I was going to ask her to marry me, and I couldn't believe how excited they were. She was their idol, and they worshipped at her altar. I called Sarah. She wasn't thrilled, but said she wanted me to be happy. I found out that Bob had asked her a question and she had put it off. She said she was going to answer yes, and I wished her well. I hoped she had learned something from her experience and Bob wouldn't go through what I went through. I didn't say anything of the sort. I took Carly to a nice Italian restaurant and put the ring on. She squealed, and there were no more questions. When we got home, the girls were already waiting for us, and they were full. Can we call you Mommy? Kembry asked. We already have a mom, but we decided we wanted to call you Mommy. Carly knelt down and snuggled up to them. Eth, thank you, girls. I am so honored. I have loved you from the day I met you. You will always be my little girls. I'm not trying to take your mom's place, but I would be proud to have two angels like you call me Mom. We got married, it's been a year, and I love her more and more every day. I have never been happier. Sarah married Bob and they had a boy. I have never heard of the former family, and I don't think I ever will. My sisters occasionally mention them, but they have nothing to do with them either. Sometimes you just have to live with your choices. They made theirs and I made mine. The worst day of my life was pretty bad, but I feel like the best days are yet to come. Carly is going to make sure of that. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel and watch for the next video.